this is Dave. Are you excellent at what you do? And if you have a business, is your business excellent? Well, throughout the Bible, the people of God who were business people were invariably excellent at their business. Here's some examples. Abraham's business was so large and so successful, for example, that it could produce, and I'm going to quote here, quote, 318 trained men who had been born in his household, end quote. And that's, by the way, I've got a discussion about that in the good book on business, but he had such a large enterprise that he could afford to have 318 trained men trained for battle who'd been born in his household. That's a huge household. That's a huge business. Joseph was so good at management and administration that he was made CEO of what was probably the world's largest economic enterprise at that time. Boaz was a successful landowner and farmer. And in the New Testament, Lydia was a successful merchant. And of course, Paul was so good at tent making that he was able to support himself wherever he went. Christians are expected, no, commanded, to be excellent at what they do. God doesn't leave the matter to doubt or interpretation when he said in Colossians 4:23, I'm going to quote, "Whatever you do, work at with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." It is the Lord Christ you are serving. So it's hard to reconcile that biblical command for excellence. It's hard to reconcile that with the common expectation that's so often out there, and that is that a Christian-owned business tolerates or maybe even promotes mediocrity in performance. There is, I think, among our Christian culture a little bit of a subcurrent which believes it's acceptable for a Christian business to not create expectations for employees, to not hold anyone accountable for their behavior. And as a result, many Christian businesses wallow in the muck of mediocrity and never achieve their worldly or their spiritual potential. What a shame. Christian businesses are God's creation, designed by Him to fulfill a need in the world and to shine His light in locations and markets and industries. Remember Ephesians 2:10 says this, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Your business is a good work that God has prepared in advance for you to do. Anything less than the pursuit of excellence is an abdication of our responsibility to do good works and to do them with all our heart. God has given us our careers, the business responsibility we have, and He's given us our businesses. He expects us to do them with all our heart. And that means, for a business person, that means to pursue excellence in the marketplace. You know, we have a online community called the XI community, and XI stands for excellence and influence. So the community is a place for content and connections to help you create an excellent business and do excellent in the work that you do. XI, excellence and influence. I'll put a link in the show notes. So while pursuing excellence is an easy thing to say, and it's an easy thing to agree with intellectually, the daily pursuit of it is an entirely different thing, which requires not just our intellectual assent, but a complete sellout of time, money, and emotional energy to pursue a vision which always seems just out of reach. And the first step in that daily battle is to gain a clear idea of what it is we're striving for. So, what is excellence? What is excellence in business? What is excellence in a marketplace career? What does excellence look like? Now, while a full answer would easily fill the pages of a book, here's some basic thoughts, and I suspect most marketplace Christians would agree with these components of the concept of excellence in business. So number one, excellence has this component. It is growing. Populations grow, as do markets and the businesses which serve them. A Christian-owned business understands that growth fosters profits, innovations, and influence, and provides opportunities for the employees and stakeholders to grow and prosper. In the hands of a Christian business person, all these outcomes are positive and nurture the kingdom. Continuous profitable growth is one of the things that mark excellence in the marketplace. So, is your business growing? Is your career growing? Number two, profitable. So, a profit is the measure of a business's financial performance, and excellent companies make excellent profits. It is an indication that the economic forces within the business are in balance, that the pricing accurately reflects the value offered, the costs are not out of proportion, and there are, of course, hundreds of specific behaviors that support these fundamental measurements. A profitable business has most of these well-organized, efficient, and effective. I can't imagine putting limit excellence on an enterprise that wasn't profitable. So that's number two, growing, profitable. Number three, of good reputation in the market. An excellent company has a great reputation with its customers, its suppliers, its competitors, and its colleagues. Everyone recognizes the business as being driven by integrity, truthfulness, and transparency, and senses the underlying relationship with God that produces those fruits. If your company is not recognized by most of the players in your market as excellent, then it probably is not. Number four, of good reputation internally. So the employees of an excellent business are glad they work there. The vendors and other stakeholders consider their relationship with the business to be a blessing, and they wish that their relationship were like the one they have with you. The owners of excellent businesses have earned a great deal of respect from the folks inside the business, and the culture of that business supports that. So, number four, they're of good reputation internally. Number five, they're financially secure. While there are times and situations in which debt is appropriate, generally, a Christian business strives for a debtless balance sheet. In an excellent company, cash flow is predictable and sufficient, and debt is, at most, a small proportion of the liabilities, and at best non-existent. While many businesses are a month away from being out of business, excellent companies have the financial wherewithal to weather the next calamity. I never will forget, as a little personal insight here, I never will forget 9/11 and everything canceled. If you recall, the airlines could not make it through the weekend without financial help from the government. And I was in my business. At the time, I had 7 or 8 employees, and I remember saying to them, "Guys, November 15th is the last paycheck I can make." My point is, the airlines couldn't make it through the weekend without financial help. We made it from September 11th to November 15th on our own resources because we were financially secure. There's always going to be something coming up, particularly in these times, rapidly changing times. A crisis could be just a blink of an eye away. Excellent companies are financially secure. Number 6, excellent companies are industry leading. And so an excellent Christian business does almost everything better. Better marketing, better sales, better distribution, better employee relationships, better financial performance, etc. And over time, that means that it grows more solidly and rapidly than its non-Christian colleagues and competitors. Eventually, the Christian-owned business should rise to the top of its industry. A Christian-owned business is a light in the darkness. It illuminates far more when it is on the top of the hill rather than in the valley. Excellence demands industry-leading performance. And number 7, influential. As an excellent Christian business grows in its reputation, it naturally develops admirers and imitators. Rather than decry that, Christian business people ought to embrace it, understanding that their growing influence is both a result of their business excellence and a characteristic of excellence. Excellent Christian businesses ought to accept every request to visit, ought to seek out positions of influence in national and local associations, ought to seek out positions of influence in gatherings of all kind. Each of these is an opportunity to give God the glory for the business success and to nudge others to seek a relationship with them. Excellence and influence. Excellence and influence. That's what Christian businesses and Christian business people ought to focus on and embrace. So there's 7 characteristics. Let me just repeat them. Number 1, they're growing. Characteristics of excellence are they're growing, they're profitable, they're of good reputation in the market, they're of good reputation internally, they're financially secure, they're industry leading, and they are influential. So, is your business excellent? Is your career excellent? Are you striving to be a powerful force in each of these 7 areas I just talked about? Well, you might want to do just a little self-assessment. Just create a little like a spreadsheet. List those 7 characteristics down one column, and then rate yourself and your business on where you are. Let's say on a 0 to 10 scale. 0 is we're miserable at this. 10 is we are definitely the best in the world at this. So just give yourself just a 0 to 10 rating on each of these, and that then becomes a hit list for things to work on as you go forward. Okay? By the way, again, I'm just going to advocate for the Excellence and Influence community. It's an online community where we provide connections and content for business people who want to be excellent and gain influence. The XI community. I'll put a link in the show notes. Okay, it's $19 a month. Really a deal. Okay, that's it. We're done. Bye-bye.